I could have just been a McLaren fan. I could have just been a McLaren fan. I could have just been a McLaren fan. I think we're right, but no, I chose to be a Ferrari fan because yay, Ferrari, all the history, yay, yay, yay. They're totally going to be competent. They may have some bad times, but no, 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 no. It just was. Why the? I'm losing it. I am. No, I'm officially saying it. The summer break is still going on. We are coming back on Monza. Ferrari 1 2 is going to happen. Nothing happened over the weekend. They told you it wasn't a beautifully chaotic race. Why am I speaking so fast? Um, anyway, now that I've got that rant out of the way, we had a beautifully chaotic Dutch Grand Prix. Everyone forgot how to drive. They clearly were mentally still on the summer break, except the McLaren drivers, of course, who having no problems as per usual. Till lap 66, and Norris's engine decided, I'd still want to be on summer break. Anyway, there's one way to cheer up after that race, and that is going through every meme and seeing if it cures my depression, which it probably won't because they're all going to be about Ferrari double DNFing, aren't they? Yeah, there's going to be no mention of Charles' epic overtake on George or all the other races. Probably nothing on even Hatcher's podium. No, it's just going to be all Charles Leclerc looking depressed and Lewis Hamilton crashing into the wall. Yay, looking forward to it. Let's go. Right, so we are on r slash Formula Dank, and we're just going to look through some of the best and depressing memes from the last weekend. First things first, call an ambulance. How to recognize a stroke. Good information here for, how to identify a stroke. Of course, incoherent speech. If someone says Ferrari will get a 1-2 at Monza, they might just be delusional. It might just be delusion. Just going to point out that it might just be delusion. Anyway, and it's going to probably be a lot of these of just the cinematic shots of Charles Leclerc chilling on the sand dunes after getting murdered by the Italian mafia, aka Antonelli. I mean, it's pretty much just confirmed at this stage that the F1 drone guy was pretty much getting commission paid for every shot he got of Charles Leclerc here because there was way too many. There was generally times we were getting on track action as the background of Charles Leclerc looking depressed. What has this man done to you? Norris was getting this much shot and he was in the same position. Yeah, that engine didn't go well. Anyway, McLaren timed something perfectly, and it is Norris walking under the podium as soon as Oscar Piastri goes not under, onto the podium. This shot's gonna get milked by Netflix so much. There's gonna be 50 different angles of this specific moment of Lando walking on the podium as Oscar goes on the podium. In the title defining moment, as everyone is saying, until Oscar potentially DNFs next week. Come back here when Oscar DNFs in Monza, and then it's back on. No, title's over. Title's over. Anyway, the new Ferrari logo, and it is the horse being replaced by Charles sitting on the sand dune. Yep, that is. Yeah, the horse is gone and being replaced by the press Charles. Tough time for the Scuderia. Anyway, yes, this one's a good one. Drown him in champagne, first time on the podium. How it's not done. Ignoring Nico Hulkenberg, who's waited 15 damn years for the podium because you were bitter over some penalty or whatever the situation that McLaren just ignored Nico. And how it's done. You drown him. You drown him. You make Hadja never want to be on the podium again. That's Max Verstappen's tactic for when Isaac gets the demotion. Make him fear the podium. Fear being drowned alive on the podium. You can't really be drowned. Anyway, originally posted in June, it's still relevant in September, and it's when I'm in a delaying contract talks competition and my opponent is Toto Wolff. Is he just hoping that somehow, some way Max will go, no, I'm leaving. Bye. Toto, take me. I mean, given Anthony's murdering, he's trained Anthony well for the murdering to help George win a title next year, or Max next year. Depends who's in that car. But Anthony's been trained well for being a good number two. Anyway, this is why everyone thought at McLaren we definitely don't have favorites, and it's Zach Brown looking very upset and smug. My poor baby Lando, that evil, terrible Oscars won again. Oh no, the cameras, I have to smile, make it look natural, Zach, make it look natural. There's no number one if McLaren. But you could tell out of like the main guys in McLaren who they want to win. I'm gonna say who I think is who. But you could tell who wants Lando to win, and you could tell who wants Oscar to win, just mainly on their reaction to Norris DNF. Just look at that pit wall. Look at that pit wall. I'm not the only one who's seen some guys getting a cheeky smirking on that pit wall when Lando's engine expired. Anyway, which day of Ferrari? Leclerc, hello? Therapist? Therapist. Hold on, Charles, I'm with Lewis right now. Maybe that's who Leclerc was on the phone to. Also, who did a random marshal just go, here, Charles, watch the race. Norris's engine's blown up. You're not the one having the worst day now. He's just like, what? I'm not having a bad. Well, he is having a bad day, but he's not having the worst day. Anyway, and alluding to what I previously said, 6:38 on the race highlights if you don't believe me, and when the boss's favorite guy gets DNF'd and you have to look sad. And Stella is taking out a cheeky smirk. There could be more. Someone could have told him a funny joke at the exact same time, just funny in his ears. Like, imagine if Norris's engine DNF. We're having such a good day. Imagine if one of our engines DNF'd and he just laughs at the exact same moment Norris's engine actually dies. Hmm. Anyway, more on the McLaren team principal stuff. Least bias team principal. Also, Jim, I'll be able to think that Zach Brown is the team principal when it's Andrea Stella. It just says a lot about the team. But Zach Brown denies favoritism at McLaren. Norris and what's his name are equal in my eyes. Is that Jed in the background? Anyway, yeah, good old pairing of Norris and what's his name. Okay, you dropped Daniel for him, so you clearly like him anyway. Gonna end it with one other big depression post, the Island of Despair, and it's all the sad boys from the weekend looking very sad. And you got a Ferrari in the background. Which one is it? Because both of them got smashed up. But yeah, you got Lewis looking like he's taking a piss into the ocean. Fair play. Lando is very upset because he realized there was no coconut on the tree, and Charles is just trying to aura farm. That has been during my depression with memes on Reddit. I'm still depressed because all of them were Charles looking depressed and aura farming in the sand dunes. So hopefully Monza goes better and they don't double DNF again. They're gonna double DNF again. Let's be realistic. They're taking each other out. They're gonna be 1-2 and take each other out in their my God moves the sign moment. Yeah, and then Carol somehow win. Yep. Anyway, I'm depressed. See you after Monza.